Welcome to the XFDA podcast, and today we're here to talk about why we do our laid back stance in our sport, because there's been lots of comments about it asking why we stand like we do. So my guest here today is Johnny Law, Mr. Sandman and Mongoose. Welcome, guys.
All right. Good to be here.
Good. So, Mongoose, jump into it. Try and tell the people why we do our stance.
Well, I think it's simple. It's a simple thing right there. You're trying to get as fast as you possibly can. And when people do a laid back stance, it kind of helps them bring the gun up to the target. So, and everybody's different. So, when I lay back, I'm trying to get that gun to the target so that when I pull it out, I can pull it out and fire it as fast as I can. And I think that's really what everybody's trying to do.
Yeah, the more you lean back, the faster the shot you get.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's all about leveling the gun on the target. The reason I lean back, which I'm obviously an extreme case of leaning back. I've been often told I lay down. But it's all about dropping my elbow, which when I pull the gun is leveling up on the target faster. And I mean, I hear all the, Matt Dillon doesn't do it that way in the movies, right? Clint Eastwood doesn't do it that way. But this ain't the movies. It's a game in a reaction to a timer, and it's all about speed. Right. For me, that's why I lay down. I don't have the dexterity in my arms to do it any other way. That's just what works for me.
Well, that's what we get. We get a lot of comments on social media saying that they didn't do that in Hollywood and in the Old West, but we're not portraying that.
Right.
We're portraying our sport.
Right.
And so, like you said, leaning back gets the speed. If you was to stand up and pull your gun up and poke it, you're getting no speed.
Right.
So
that demonstration that you had was really great because you stand up, this is time, and that's time. So in Johnny Law's case, and it's not just him, there's several doing like that. He takes the movement from up because he leans back. It's just a straight back movement. And that is why I think he and others like him shoot so fast. Yeah. It's because you take that movement out of it.
That's right. I mean, Johnny has a different stance than anybody I know. There is other people that lean back, but you lean back so far.
Well, the truth is, I'm just not as good as y'all are, so I have to come up with some other way to get around it. But the other part of that is in the Old West.
How many twos did you shoot today?
Yeah, right.
How many did you shoot today?
None.
How many did you shoot?
What place did he get?
How many did you shoot?
I don't know, 4 or 5.
I don't think I got out of a 370.
But that's actually a myth on the Old West. You talk about the Old West shootout. That didn't happen. You didn't have guys squaring up in real life and facing each other and shooting. There's one instance of that happening with Wild Bill Hickok.
I think so.
And then maybe the Tombstone. I mean, I don't know all of them, but that was not something that was commonplace like Hollywood has made it out to be, for one thing.
Right. Well, and another thing that we do, we have our hands on the gun, and that's kind of for safety reasons right there. So we're not having to, a lot of people want us to stand with our hands out, like this. Well, you can't do that really. So you want to put your hand on, I think they call it a lawman's draw. Yeah. Is that right? So you keep your hand on that gun so you have a little bit more control over it. That's all that is.
I think that the comments that we get, that we like all the comments, is they've not looked into the XFDA. They automatically think, which, like I said, portraying the movies and that's not the case. This is Xtreme Fast Draw, and we're the fastest time sport in the world, and we do our stunts to get speed.
Yeah, we want to go fast.
You know what I mean? So,
Well, you're talking about times faster than 0.3 of a second, for goodness sakes,
Right.
And I can stand upright and shoot.
Right.
3 6s, 3 5s, standing straight as a board. But if you want to go win state championships or world championships in the XFDA, you're going to have to shoot faster than that.
Yeah.
And that's just what I do to try to figure out how to go faster.
Yeah.
But it's like we was just now saying about the speed. We really want the speed, but do we forfeit accuracy? What is your accuracy?
That's an interesting topic, and Mongoose and I kind of went about it in different ways. From the moment I started, I've been trying to go fast. And because of that, I tried to go fast first And there is times that my consistency and my accuracy has suffered. Mongoose, on the other hand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he started off more with accuracy and then got faster, and that's why he's as accurate as he is. Anybody who shot against him knows that.
What about you,
I've tried
Sandman?
it both ways. I've heard.
What come first with you, speed or accuracy?
Probably the accuracy.
Yeah.
Accuracy.
Well, you get frustrated when you don't hit.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's what got me. I remember talking to Jackass one time, about one of the times I first met him, and he said, I said, man, I wish I could shoot as fast as you can, and he told me, well, I wish I could shoot as accurate as you can, and he said, you can't have both.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to give up one to get the edge on the other. So
Well, he found both.
Yeah, he did.
What?
He found both now.
Well, yeah, he is, and we're going to talk to him about that too. But I think you do as you're learning and you're practicing and you're practicing. I practice almost every day. When you're learning, for me, if I'm accurate, and that means I'm comfortable in my draw. If I'm comfortable in my draw, I can make that draw faster, and that does include leaning a little bit more than I need to, or in my case, I do a little bit of a twist.
And sometimes you lean back to get your shot up more.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, when you get your hand up here, a lot of people talk about their hand up.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of put my hand up here to kind of, help me direct and keep my balance.
Yeah. That's
So
more
that
for
all
balance.
helps.
Yeah. I've watched you, Sandman. You have a little bit of a squat, and you got your hand out.
Yeah.
Tell people why you put your hand out there.
For balance.
For balance.
Yeah.
Even though you're just squatting.
Yeah. It just kind of keeps me straight.
Right.
Keep me from falling on my butt.
Do
when
you
I lean
line the
back.
target up with anything with your hand or anything like
No,
that? So
no.
it's just strictly for your balance.
Yeah, just
What about
strictly
you,
balance.
Johnny?
Well, I always liken it to, like I've said before, bull riding. You see the bull riders and they use their offhand to keep their balance with the other side of their body, and a similar idea behind it. I line my hip up with the target, and then my offhand is just, I guess it's balance, and it also just it's what feels comfortable.
Yeah, that's the thing, that everybody's different. Everybody has a different stance. I've tried stances of trying to get down and putting my hand up here, and it feels so awkward to me. And I've tried shooting several rounds, and I can't do it. I mean, I'm like, tuck my thumb in my belt. I feel more comfortable,
Yeah, I felt weird when I see, put my hand up. I
Yeah.
felt like I looked funny to people.
Well, you
or
do look
so-
funny.
I'm
You
sure.
do. You all look funny. I'm the one that looks normal.
But you watch the faster shooters, and they're leaning back. They got the hand up.
We're in a sad state of affairs if you're the normal ones.
Yeah.
What about you, Mongoose? I noticed when you shoot, you get in your stance, and I was hand judging for you today. You get in your stance, and when it shoots on a line and shooter's set, and you're waiting for that light, you start moving.
Yeah, I start almost like a sweep. And
Yeah.
actually, that kind of gets me in trouble because then if I sweep too far, then I think I'm out of whack. Anytime that you're up on the line and you think about anything else but the light, you're not going to catch it. And sometimes that gets me. But yeah,
That's the
I'll get
truth.
up there, and every once in a while, if I feel a little awkward, I kind of sweep it over and I say, okay, that's where I'm at. In reality, I need to be where I plant my foot where I always plant my foot. I lean back like I always do, and that's it. Nothing else. I don't think about anything else, or I shouldn't.
Right.
Okay?
No, but my stance, I don't know about y'all. I'd be interested to know y'all's response to this, but little parts of my stance are always evolving. It's changed since I first started shooting.
Yep.
And then you try something and it works, or you try it and it doesn't work.
Right.
So I'm always making little changes and trying little things.
Well, that's the other thing is that Johnny Law's stance, he leans so back. If look him up on the XFDApro.com. Johnny Law, he lies back, and if he has a towel hooked to his belt, when that towel starts touching the ground because he leans back so
You're in trouble.
far, you know that this is a long light.
Yeah, that's
Obviously.
right. That's true.
But the other thing is with Johnny's stance, tell him about what happened in Kansas when your knee went out.
Oh yeah, a few years
Let's
ago.
talk about that. And I don't know whether it's part of the stance. Was it part of that you've been doing it for so long, or you just had a bad knee? What
I
happened?
think it
there?
was a little bit of both of those. I've had a lot of knee damage. Most people know I'm a law enforcement officer. And 13, 14 years ago, I was working. It was icy outside. and I was working a wreck, and I slipped on the ice, and I tore my knee up pretty good. And, you know, I've had some knee trouble since then, so that knee was already weak.
Right.
But, yeah, I was in Kansas on the line and went to shoot. Ended up tearing my meniscus, and some of my other tendons got tore pretty good. It actually caused me to fall down and, you know, pretty dramatic, kind of ironic. Everybody thought I had a heart attack. I don't know what that says about my health. But, yeah, I mean, that was a bad deal. It's taken me a long time to heal up from that.
Right.
I don't think it was just my stance, but I'm not going to sit here and say that didn't, you know, leaning that far back does take a toll on your body. And
You catch a long light, huh?
right. And, you know, I've been asked, people have said, well, do you think you'll be able to shoot like that forever? And the answer is probably not.
Right.
I mean, but I'm trying to go fast enough to outrun some of these amazing shooters like Speedy James, Giles Wright,
Oh, yeah.
Brad Quick, and that's just what feels comfortable to try to shoot those times for me.
Talking about Brad Quick, and I've said it many a times. I don't know if you noticed, like Brad's a fast shooter, but he looks, when he gets in his stance, he looks so comfortable.
Those look very
Right.
comfortable.
You, when I look at you, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to go over here in a minute. You know, you've definitely got the most lean back, but I look at Brad, and Brad does have a company. He just gets in his little deal, and he's off he goes.
And I've got the most lean back, but there's a lot of other shooters that do that as well. I mean, there's IB Nobody out of Florida leans pretty far
Yeah,
back.
well,
Dirty Mike leans back
Dirty
pretty good,
Mike
too.
leans. Dirty Mike Neals.
You're right. I mean, with IB Nobody, and I think with me and you've had this conversation before, he gets in his stance and he sticks his hand up and he goes, I'm like, who are you waving at?
And then he turns around and pulls 3 2s, 3 1s, and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Sandman? When did you and I meet? We met about, what, a year ago?
Yeah, last April, I believe.
I think it was at the Free Bolt Rangers shoot.
yeah,
Have you changed anything from then until today with your stance?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us what you've changed.
Well,
What you've done.
leaning back, you know, watching
Yeah.
these faster shooters, leaning back, getting my gun out of my, shooting down here by my holster instead of shooting up here on my side.
Yeah.
And yeah, just mainly that.
We have an ongoing joke around here because when I met him, we done his KPI and it was like a 5 something, if I remember. We was like 3 rounds into shoot and he's shooting 350s. So they call him Mr. Sandman, but I call him Mr. Sandman.
Whatever it takes.
How about you, Mongoose? What have you changed since you started shooting with your stance and
You know what
your
I
draw?
think I do the most is I flip my wrist a little more to keep the gun level. I think that's what I try to do, and I try to instead of come up, I try to come back.
Yeah.
Problem with that is, you know, when your body's used to going a certain way, and you're trying to convince it to do something else.
Right.
When you're up there concentrating on that line, you know, your body wants to kind of take over, so that misses me a little bit. But I think that's when I shoot the fastest, when I just come straight back.
Yep.
So let me ask a question then. So these guys in Hollywood and back in the 1800s, could they shoot as fast as we shoot?
No.
No,
So
Nobody
they
shoots
should
fast
have
as
been
I shoot.
leaning
except
back,
for
shouldn't they?
Giles.
Yeah,
No, I mean, most of them weren't there wasn't a reaction, you know. I've seen a lot of the comments about Bob Munden.
yeah,
Well, he didn't shoot, but he also didn't react to a light or to any stimulus.
and Bob Munden had a big film crew,
Right.
and they done lots of takes.
Well, and I'm not taking anything away.
No,
Some of the stuff
no,
he did
no,
was amazing. I'm
he's
just
an
saying
amazing
it's
man,
a different sport.
That is the thing we get. Well, Bob Munden wouldn't have done that. Bob Munden was, but I mean, I see comments even about our youth. You know what I mean? Is that you know, well, he missed the target. Well, we missed the target all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
If I had $1
More
for every
often than
time I
not.
missed a target a day, I'll be rich.
Really?
Well, and you got to realize what we're doing is a game. I mean, obviously, I'm a member of my SWAT team. I do other styles of shooting. It's not the same thing.
Right.
Believe it or not, I don't make entry on the SWAT team and lean way back. Let me see your hands. No, I don't do it that way. This is a sport. You know,
You don't do that in real life.
no, I don't do that. So what we're doing is a game. It's a sport, and I'm just, you know, that's why we lean back. I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I understand people seeing it for the first time, and that they say, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, we're playing the XFDA sport, and I don't answer comments back because I don't want to be negative. I just think look into the xfdapro.com and you'll see why we stand. We might look silly or stupid or whatever, but if it makes me faster, I'll do whatever I've got to do.
I'll do whatever
I
it
thought the
takes.
same thing too when I first saw it. So wow, they're kind of lenient. But when you get into the sport, if you ever try this sport, and I suggest you do, if you ever try it, you will start leaning back. It doesn't matter. Because you're going to want to get fast, and that's the only way to get fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Come
there
give
you
it.
are.
Come
Only
try
way.
it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Give it a shot.
Show up and try it out.
Read some more on this list because I'm read out. Help me out here.
Well, we got one here that I asked, what's the biggest mistake, people make when trying to go fast? And my answer to that is a lot because, when I started shooting, I came in and they said, all right, you're going to stand at 15 foot and you're going to shoot that rectangle. And I thought, that's it. I'll never miss that thing.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Well,
and if you want to shoot.
Most people call it a barn door.
Yeah, they
don't
call it a barn door,
Barn
refrigerator door. But, if you want to sit there and shoot second, you're right, I'll never miss it.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to go fast, everything's about timing. And that's when, like I have a tendency to shoot my holster. Things like that can happen.
Yeah.
I have a, you call what we call in the sport, outside the sport, I guess it sounds funny, but slip cock, where you slip off the hammer.
Yeah.
Right? That becomes a problem because you're trying to move so fast, and until your body catches up with your mind and it all works together, you can't get it to work.
That's right.
Right. Well, you're telling yourself, you're trying to talk yourself out of aiming because you're really not.
You're not aiming.
When you used to shoot or different types of sports, you shoot, you're aiming. You're pulling out and aim. There's no aim really. You just angle your body to where the target is, and then just pull it. You're not even thinking about aiming.
Hope
You
your
shouldn't
muscle
be.
memory does
Exactly.
it for us
That's
for you.
exactly what you're looking for.
That's a good way to put it, Sandman.
Well, we all practice, and when we practice on our own, we shoot great.
Oh, yeah. Unbeatable.
You know,
Oh yeah. I shoot
Tilly
two.
G was saying that you've shot twos. Did you shoot any twos today?
No.
No, it's the
I've
same
never-
as all of us.
He
You know,
came close. He shot a 307 today.
Well, yeah, when
I
you're
shoot
practicing, you shoot great. We've had this. You shoot great,
Yeah.
and then the minute you
Yeah.
get on the line with 5 other shooters, and the line's ready, shooters on the line, and you're waiting for that light, you don't know when it's coming. It's a whole different
That's
ball
right.
game.
Yep. There's a whole different thing into that. You know,
Yeah.
'cause, when I'm by myself, I can shoot two evens all the time. As long as nobody's watching. Nobody can watch.
When I dry fire, all my dry fires are twos.
It's ridiculous how crazy it is.
If I'm in there on my own, I shot a two, I'll go, I didn't anticipate that.
Not at all.
I didn't
Not at
anticipate.
all.
Well, and I think there's a big difference between laid back, practicing, having fun.
Yeah.
I was shooting twos in practice, for probably a year before I hit one
Yep.
in an event because all that stress and then it slows you down.
The big thing about it is that we need to let people know this is all just a fun game. You know, we're not.
It's the funnest.
It's just who cares what we stand like or what we do. It's just
it's
for fun.
Yeah.
This is the most fun I think I've had in any kind of sport that I've ever dealt with.
Right.
It's just fun to do.
Right.
It's fun when you're shooting good.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true.
But like I said, in practice and in theory, it's all different. It's not the same.
No, completely different.
It's completely different. So anyway, guys, you got anything else to add to this?
I do have one thing I would like to
ahead.
mention, and that's XFDA member Richard Young, aka the gentleman. He had some medical issues, and we just want to let him know that we're thinking about you, we're praying for you, and we're glad you're doing a little better.
Yeah,
better, man.
and along with Snake Eyes as well. He couldn't make a 20-point shoot, which was a shame. And his grandson is Speedy James, and he supports him and goes to every shoot. Him and his grandmother, they travel all over the country taking him.
Very good people.
Speedy James is a good guy. And he has a funny little stance.
Yeah,
doesn't
he
Have
does.
you seen him?
He pops. He pops that hip like nobody's
Yeah,
business.
he does.
Yeah, I think he
Stomps
could be
that-
like a little
stomps
break
that
dancer,
right
couldn't he?
Yeah.
Stumps that back foot.
It works out well for you.
It sure does. It sure does.
He is lightning fast. There's no doubt about that.
I bet he won last week, didn't he?
Yeah,
Didn't he win
he
the
come
point shoot?
first.
Yeah.
He beat Jackass.
Yeah, he sure did.
Well, that was a battle, though, wasn't it?
That was.
That was a battle. Did you see that Jackass had a bounce back, and it was what, a
263 on a bounce
On
back.
a bounce back.
263?
You believe that?
Imagine if that would have hit.
Good grief.
Probably another new world record, I imagine.
Good grief.
He called me that night and said, "Did you see that bounce back?" I went, "Yeah, you let me know about it." But anyway, so Billy Gunslinger, man, we ain't forgot you, buddy. Hillbilly Gunslinger, he's part of the Moonshiners. They're in Arkansas, and he's having some major surgery. I really don't want to go into too much detail, but he's basically having his jaw taken away from him. So we're thinking about you, buddy. You know, and we're praying for you, and hope everything really goes well. You know, Gabe keeps me updated, so
Good.
we'll see. Well, I can't remember whether his surgery was the other day or it's Monday. It's something, so we'll update you on that. But we're thinking about you, buddy. You know, he's another really nice man. You know, he's a good guy. Like
Everybody's nice.
everyone in the
I haven't met a
XFDA,
bad
Like all the
person in
XFDA
this yet.
family.
all the XFDA people are good. You
Yes,
know.
they are.
But anyway, we're going to get out of here now. I really do appreciate you, Mongoose, Sandman,
Sir?
Johnny Law.
Yes, sir.
Although you have a really funny stance.
So scratch everything I said. I actually only stand that way to make all of y'all mad. That's the only reason.
It bothers me.
Yeah, when you're up against them, it does.
But anyway, thank you very much. We will catch you later. And what do we need to say?
Shooters on the line.
Shooters set.